Welcome to Simply Fun's online school of playology. Today we'll take turns sliding our way to fun and prizes with Simply Fun's Pickles Slide to Win. Pickles Slide to Win is a fun game for ages 4 and up and can be played with 2 to 4 players. Building early dexterity skills is important for everything from playing an instrument to writing to sports. Also, learning how speed and force are related to create motion is a great early physics concept for our little ones to learn. And of course, gameplay allows our youngest players to learn some life skill lessons in how to take turns and to be patient. Every Pickles Slide to Win game box contains 1 Pickles Slide to Win tunnel, 3 double-sided Slide to Win boards that show all the prizes players can win, 1 marble slider for skillful sliding through the tunnel, and 14 adorable stuffed animal prizes in 2 border colors and sizes. To set up the game, first lay out the Slide to Win boards. The boards are double-sided, showing the same stuffed animals but in different arrangements for variety of gameplay. For each game, you can choose which side to play. Now, assemble the boards, as shown, with the slots for the tunnel in the middle. Connect all 3 boards together, like a puzzle, creating 1 large board for gameplay. Finally, separate the prizes by color, pink and blue, as shown, and place them near the Slide to Win boards. Now you're ready to play. To begin the game, give the marble slider to the youngest player. She will start the game by pushing the marble slider from her start area, either pink or blue as shown, through the tunnel, and try to land on one of the stuffed animal prize images or the blue ribbon on the opposite side of the board. Note that players on the pink side of the board can only win prizes with pink borders, and players on the blue side can only win blue prizes. To push the marble slider, the player will set it anywhere within the start area and carefully push it forward so it goes through one of the 2 tunnels and lands on the other side of the board. It must stay flat on the board at all times, and the player must let go of the slider before it reaches the tunnel. No pushing it through the tunnel. Each player gets 2 tries to make it through the tunnel on 1 turn. If the slider goes through the first time, that counts as the turn. If it doesn't, there's always a second chance. If it doesn't make it through on the second try, the player's turn is over, and he passes the slider to the next player. Once the slider has been released and makes it through the tunnel, the player looks on the other side to see where it landed and what prize he has won. If her slider landed on any part of a stuffed animal image or on the blue ribbon on the other side of the tunnel, she gets the appropriate prize. Here's the tricky part though. Since it's more difficult to land on a small image than a big one, a player actually wins the opposite prize size of the image he lands on. For example, if the slider lands on the large penguin, the player wins the small penguin prize. But if the player lands on the small lion, he wins the big lion prize. If a slider lands on 2 stuffed animal prizes at once, the player may choose which prize he wants. And if the slider lands on the blue ribbon image, which is pretty hard, the player may choose 2 prizes, as long as the border colors match the color of the start area. There may be times when no prizes are won. This happens when the slider doesn't go completely through the tunnel on either of 2 attempts. The slider lands on an image with the wrong border color, say blue for example, when the start zone was pink, or the slider doesn't land on any part of a stuffed animal image, or goes off the board on the opposite side of the tunnel. The slider lands on a token that has already been claimed. A player's turn is over when she has either tried twice and failed to push the marble slider to the opposite side, or won a prize with a successful slide. At the end of the turn, the player then nicely passes the slider to the next player and play continues. If you're playing with more than 2 players, on teams for example, make sure everyone has a chance to push the slider. The games end when 1 player has collected 5 prizes. If players are older, they may choose to compete for more prizes to win, or require players to land on the blue ribbon to win. Slide your way to the prize with Simply Fun's Pickles Slide to Win.